Star Trek brings back Captain Picard's Klingon title. Captain Jean-Luc Picard may be a diplomat, a philosopher, and a man of peace, but he once held one of the most fearsome titles in the Klingon Empire, Chidich, the right of vengeance. Now, in a stunning new development, Star Trek has brought back this storied Klingon title, reminding fans just how deep and complex Picard's legacy remains, especially within Klingon culture. Whether it's through Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, or Star Trek Prodigy, the current Star Trek renaissance has proven that the franchise is not afraid to dig into its deep lore. But few expected Star Trek to resurrect a pivotal moment from the Next Generation Season 3 episode, Sins of the Father, when Picard stood as Worf's Chidich, his legal representative and personal bodyguard in a Klingon right of judgment. Over 30 years later, the title and its profound meaning have returned, this time in a way that reaffirms Picard's unlikely bond with Klingon honor. The return of Chidich in modern Star Trek. In the most recent season of Star Trek Prodigy, the young crew of the Protostar visits the Klingon homeworld for diplomatic reasons, and it's here that a mention of Picard's legacy sends ripples through Klingon society. When a political confrontation unfolds during a trial, a young Klingon warrior invokes ancient precedent and demands a Chidich. To the crew's astonishment, Picard's name is brought up as the last non-Klingon to ever serve in this role, a rare and powerful gesture of respect. This moment doesn't just exist for nostalgia. It recontextualizes Picard's involvement in Klingon affairs as something legendary. The Klingon elder presiding over the trial refers to Picard as he who took the blades for another, a poetic reinterpretation of the Chidich title. It's clear that his actions in defense of Worf, risking his life in the brutal world of Klingon politics, have become the stuff of myth. Why Picard's Chidich role still matters. Picard's decision to serve as Worf's Chidich was one of TNG's most significant character moments, as it challenged the stoic captain to enter an alien arena where rules were dictated by honor, strength, and ritual rather than diplomacy. It wasn't just a cultural gesture, it was an act of profound loyalty and courage. Picard, a man of logic and Federation law, threw himself into a situation governed by physical confrontation and primal justice. By bringing back this title, modern Star Trek acknowledges something that was never explicitly stated. Picard didn't just survive the Klingon world, he left a permanent mark on it. His title, once a temporary necessity, has become a symbol of the respect he earned from one of the Federation's most formidable former enemies. Worf's influence and the meaning of brotherhood. The revival of Picard's Klingon title also serves as a thematic callback to Worf, whose loyalty to both the Federation and his Klingon heritage often put him in conflict with both worlds. Worf's duality was always a rich source of drama, and Picard's willingness to act as his Chidich cemented their bond in a way that transcended rank or duty. It was brotherhood, plain and simple. Now that Worf has returned in Star Trek Picard Season 3 as a wizened warrior with a spiritual edge, the timing of this reference couldn't be more perfect. Worf's newer, more centered self echoes the same values Picard once embodied as his defender. In this light, Chidich becomes more than a legal title. It becomes a metaphor for being someone's unshakable support in times of adversity. Klingon honor and Federation ideals reconciled. It's no small thing that Chidich is making a comeback during a time when Star Trek is reevaluating the relationship between Starfleet ideals and alien cultures. The old Federation way often tried to gently impose its values through diplomacy, while modern Trek shows are exploring more nuanced cultural exchanges. The revival of the Chidich tradition, especially with a non-Klingon once again being honored for holding it, sends a powerful message. It proves that respect between civilizations doesn't have to come from similarity, but from mutual understanding. Picard didn't become more Klingon to earn his title. He remained himself, acting with his own moral compass. That he was still accepted speaks volumes about how deeply he connected with Klingon values without ever abandoning his own. What could come next? Could we see Chidich invoked again in future stories? Absolutely. The seeds are planted. Whether it's in a Strange New World subplot involving a Klingon dispute, a Worf-led spin-off, or even a moment in cultural tradition evolves. Perhaps a young Starfleet officer might owe